So one of the keys, as we saw with that example of the electric vehicles, your cars, your trucks, even your classics being electrified, it's really driving a big change. And it's one area that we feel is very important to focus on in terms of the electrification. What we're actually seeing is that the value in the vehicle will be shifting from the chassis and drivetrain to the electronics and sensors, to the point where estimates have it at 50% of the value of the vehicle being in electronics as we move in towards over the next decade here. So what are some of the challenges that this will bring? So in terms of the electrical content, we're really focusing on your printed circuit board assemblies and your wire harnesses that are connecting the vehicle. And it's often seen as a black box. Limited visibility into the costs associated with those, and the processes in terms of working with suppliers are by no means optimized. The components themselves are a significant cost contributor. They're constantly changing. You have issues with life cycles. You have variability in terms of cost based on demand, and information that's typically stored in a variety of places, if managed at all. And when we look at costs, there's an issue in terms of understanding the entire vehicle and the electromechanical aspects of that. So being able to understand the costs of, we've been talking over the past 2 days here with, all the capabilities to simulate your mechanical processes. Well, if for completeness, you really need to be able to consider the electrical components as well, and take that into consideration to really have a full roll-up. So with a priori, in terms of electronics cost management, we have a very robust solution for costing PCBAs and wire harnesses that allow for very quick analysis, consistency across the different teams or users that'll be analyzing them, and providing the details in terms of the components themselves, as well as the transformation costs in the build process. And really, this is by digitizing the process, it's helping to enable engineering to make early decisions prior to going out and quoting and having insight to be able to respond quicker to their customers. The contract manufacturers to be able to respond very quickly and consistently to quotes and ensure that they're hitting their target margins. And for the OEs to really form more strategic relationships with suppliers, that transparency that Daniel just spoke about in terms of the Harman presentation, where it's critical that you're able to work closely with your suppliers, but also ensure that it's a win-win on both sides, and that you're able to negotiate and make sure everybody is aligned. With this solution, we saw in a session earlier today where Stephanie Mills covered our solution in depth and covered demonstrations. We're powered and partnered with Silicon Expert, which allows us to consolidate and get accurate real-time cost information and physical property information on the components that ultimately drive and help that roll-up of the cost be pulled together and consistent across all users. And that gets coupled with comprehensive manufacturing process coverage, from initial prep processes all the way through testing and integration of your printed circuit board assemblies and your wire harnesses.